Welcome back to DXB today. Hope you're enjoying the show thus far. Theme today is life skills and our understanding of life skills. They're changing at the moment. A whole host of guests who are coming together giving us their thoughts on this one. Our next guest holds, get this, 4 Ivy League degrees and an MBA from the London Business School, often referred to by family and friends as the boy who never left school. It is a warm welcome to Dr. Navin Valrani, and the CEO of Arcadia Education, who's taken a few hours off school to be with us here in studio. Thank you so much indeed for being with us. Great to catch up with you again.
Thank you for having me.
I'm interested about this, because you're a man of education. You're a highly educated man. You're a man of academia as well. And therefore, a lot of people go, okay, yeah, so it gets the rules, you do's your work, you do's your exams, you get your qualifications, and it's been the same for generations. And yet now we find this new sort of entrepreneurial skill, which is part of the infrastructure here in Dubai. Is it filtering through to schools, or could it filter through more?
It is filtering through to schools. There is, way back in 2016 when, as Arcadia, we introduced an entrepreneurship curriculum. It was groundbreaking at the time. And we sat together in a boardroom and said, how can we differentiate an elementary or a primary school curriculum? And given what the city stands for, given what the rulers stand for, we came up with something that was risk-seeking, was thrilling, but at the same time could be taught in an educational setting. And that's where the entrepreneurship curriculum was built. The city clearly has rubbed off, and entrepreneurship today is taught in many schools across Dubai in some way, shape or form. And it goes on from primary, which is where we started, into secondary, and then onto university. So it really, the city has rubbed off on the philosophy.
How do you feel it's been received by the families? We're from a generation where you couldn't be a TV presenter. That's not a proper job. And I think there's still a lot of households that perhaps would want their children to be studying something, more of a classic degree or job as opposed to entrepreneurial. So how's it been received?
So it's important to differentiate that we're not getting everyone to be entrepreneurs. That is not the idea behind teaching entrepreneurship.
Okay.
It is about building an entrepreneurial mindset, a mindset that develops independence, a mindset that develops open-mindedness, a mindset that teaches students about sustainability. And these are skills that you take on regardless of what you want to pursue in life. Even if you want to be a TV presenter. I mean, you come in every day, and it is a risk environment. You are managing risk.
Especially in lanes here.
Yes,
high risk.
very much so. And we make students comfortable with risk.
Perfect.
So it's not about telling students you've got to study business in college. It is about developing that mindset that allows them to succeed in life.
So how's it been received by government as well? Because obviously it's something that the country really pushes and promotes. So how's it been received by certain government officials and so on and so forth?
Very positively. Dubai in particular is a city that is at the cutting edge of entrepreneurship. I mean, you look around, I've been raised here. I came here in 1971. And there is no better example in the modern world than Dubai of a city that has used entrepreneurship to become truly global. So Dubai, in government circles, within the KHDA, which is part of the Ministry of Education, they recognize the importance of entrepreneurship. And innovation and nurturing lifelong learning is part of the standards that they put out. So very often we have DSIB, KHDA inspectors coming to our school, seeing what we call the Junior MBA program and saying, wow, this is a homegrown Dubai platform that teaches kids to succeed in the real world.
What kind of impact does the entrepreneurship have within families?
So one of the things we encourage, and just taking a leaf out of the school playbook, which is, looking at parents as partners. But when I teach the program, and when I teach teachers to teach the program, one of the things I emphasize on is to ensure that students and families take the conversation to the dinner table. It is, schools can do so much, but the large majority of time that students spend is outside of school. And a lot of it, hopefully, is at home. And so the first and foremost, I say it's important that you have dinner together. And then you talk about potential entrepreneurship opportunities, but you even talk about things like, what are your daily pain points? And how can we come up with ideas to resolve those pain points? And that is really the foundation of the skill set that we're teaching.
How do you define life skills at the moment? I mean, I've worked out that we've been going for half an hour and everything, and our very idea of life skills must be changing and evolving all the time at the moment, especially in light of modern technology and the impact that tech's having on our lifestyles.
So is technology a life skill? I'm not sure technology just as a word can be defined as a life skill. It's so inculcated within schools that you don't specifically now have to have it as a curriculum objective.
Yeah.
However, as we heard from Alison, swimming is a life skill. That hasn't changed. So I think we have to be really careful as we develop progressive mindsets. I don't think we should leave behind the very foundational life skills that we were taught when we were kids.
Yeah.
Swimming is a life skill. It's part of the English National Curriculum. You need to learn how to swim before you graduate high school. Similarly, surviving in the outdoors is a life skill. And it's important that students learn these skills regardless of the technology that's around. So I'd be really careful in using technology as an excuse not to learn the life skills that we've been historically taught.
Interesting. I'm fascinated to know your personal opinion on the likes of, say, Alison and myself, who didn't go to college and university and things like that, about, because I mean, you've got however many degrees and MBAs, and as you said, you're always at school, as it were, never left school. How does that make you feel when you hear now that, say, there's the future generation that don't want to do further education because they want to do the life skills side of things?
You are the risk takers. You are the real risk takers. And maybe at the time when you made that decision, you didn't see the consequences of that decision. But the fact is, you put yourself out there and you had the courage before most people do. So I would not discourage a student who'd come to me at the end of high school after completing GCSEs or A-levels and say, look, I don't think I'm ready for university. And take that year off and explore. And maybe, just maybe, you come across that one big idea, or you come across that life opportunity that's going to make you happy. I once had a student who got into to where I went to school, Wharton, and also to Stanford, top universities in the United States, all ready to go, even I think had his visa, Dubai-raised kid, and decided, you know what, I'm going to go to India and do my own startup. That boy launched the company that became the largest unicorn India has ever seen.
Wow.
It's called Zepto, you can look him up.
Wow.
And he is a Dubai homegrown boy who was, in my office, wanting to go to university and decided to drop out.
That's incredible.
Fantastic. So I have a question. We have very big discussions at our dinner table all the time. We have 3 teenagers at home, 2 of them are of my own, and we talk often about businesses and entrepreneurship. However, I think the teenagers nowadays just think, to be an entrepreneur, we're going to be rich. They seem to have lost a little bit that to be an entrepreneur, you actually need to specialize in something. You still need to be an architect, a doctor, a something. Not necessarily educational, you don't have to have academics, but where does this come from with teenagers now that suddenly this entrepreneurship's this great word that they all seem to just believe can happen?
So, and even when I teach the program, when we teach the program at Arcadia, we're very careful. Entrepreneurship is not about making money, and that has to be reinforced.
Yeah.
So while it sounds like, you look at the Elon Musks of the world who are entrepreneurs and you say, wow, they're rich and it'll be so nice to be rich, but it is not about making money. It is about creating impact. And how does one create impact? You can launch the most successful electric vehicle brand in the world and take a real large step towards sustainability and a better future. You can put rockets into space. You can discover life on Mars. These are real impactful moments and impactful decisions that an entrepreneur has taken. Money is a byproduct, right? Money is about making sure the business is sustainable in order for you to do these bigger things. But life is not about making money, and neither is entrepreneurship. And I think that has to really be emphasized both in school and at home.
Yeah.
That means you need Dr. Navin to come round for dinner.
I would love you to come around for dinner. And we have some amazing ideas at the dinner table. I mean, can you just get started with your ideas and see how hard at work is? I often say your mum's an entrepreneur. How's that doing for you?
Dr. Navin, thank you so much. As Tom said, we know you're so busy, so genuinely thank you for taking the time and being with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.